A small-town Georgia community shows their love and unity ahead of a neo-Nazi rally. But we want to know why Newnan.
A baby is murdered by his mother's boyfriend 2,000 miles away. So how is this tragedy connected to a local cold case murder?
Fourth day of deliberations. Why hasn't the jury come back with a verdict in the Tex MacGyver murder trial?
On the 19-year anniversary of the Columbine shooting, an example of how to find some answers from the Columbine parents.
And late breaking tonight, a convicted murderer on the run after leaving from, of all places, the Fulton County Courthouse and doing it just minutes before the judge read his sentence. We just checked in with Fulton County Police. They say this is 26-year-old Verlaine Laguerre, and right now police don't know where he is, except that he's not in jail where he's supposed to be tonight. Last week, he and Prentice Baker were found guilty of killing Avondale High School football player Matthew Hardiman back in 2011, shooting him almost 50 times after a fight. Well, today, Laguerre was going to be sentenced to life in prison, but he somehow slipped away. Stay on top of the search on 11alive.com. And another developing story we're following: just hours ago, a father and son confront and capture an accused killer. Jeff Hollinger is live at the bridge where the details are coming in tonight. Jeff?
Yeah, Vinny, Jerome Mobley was considered armed and dangerous. He was on the run in Walton County for 3 days, accused of killing his wife, and then he ran into the Womacs. This isn't how Brantley Womack expected to spend his Friday night, but the sound of the family dog barking set off a chain of events that put him in the middle of a county-wide manhunt for an alleged murderer.
Dogs just kind of started acting crazy, so I just yelled at my dog like usual, "Hey, go get him."
Brantley saw a man stand up and run into the field behind his home. Brantley ran into the house to get his father, Mark.
We walked outside and went out to the edge of the field and walked up the edge of the field, and I had kept up with, you know, the search for Jerome in this area.
Mark had his gun just in case. He knew Walton sheriffs had been searching for Jerome Ray Mobley since Wednesday, when he escaped into the woods after allegedly shooting his wife in front of their children. Mobley was a fugitive until he wandered onto the Womack's property.
And I didn't see him, but I called his name, and as soon as I called his name, he shot.
The Womacs ducked, thinking Mobley was shooting at them.
He just came out of the brush with his big hole in his face where he had just shot himself. They were just telling him to stay on the ground, and after a little bit, the sirens started hearing the sirens.
Mobley survived his injury and will eventually answer for his alleged crime.
I hope that, you know, they punish him to the letter of the law. To take somebody's life is one thing, but to take somebody's life in front of your kids, there's only one place that you can put him, and I think that, you know, that's probably where he'll be.
No word yet on if the Womacs will receive the $5,000 in reward money up for grabs for Mobley's capture. Vinny.
Unbelievable story. Thanks so much, Jeff. We got some live pictures tonight from Newnan, where demonstrators and counter-demonstrators are expected to fill its historic downtown tomorrow afternoon. That's where a neo-Nazi group is holding a rally, and tonight we've learned why the hate group picked that small town. Newnan has an interesting racial history. The 1864 Confederate win at the Battle of Browns Mill, just outside its city limits, led to General Sherman's march on Atlanta. In 1899, Newnan was the scene of a graphic and infamous lynching of Sam Hose, accused of murdering a white man and raping his wife. And in 2000, what is believed to be the largest slave cemetery in the South was discovered there. Then in 2003, the African American Heritage Museum and Research Center opens in Newnan. Well, Natisha Lance is live in Newnan tonight, where residents gathered to show the world what their community is really about. Natisha.
Well, Vinny, I tell you what, residents of Newnan tell me that their community is coming together like they have never seen before. This afternoon, there were families, there was music, there was laughter. There was also prayer tying this small community together. But in the shadows of all that, there was also a pretty large police presence. Now, both entities coming together in anticipation of what residents here are calling the hate that will fill up this community tomorrow afternoon.
A sidewalk etched with love.
Love always wins. There's no room for hate here.
It's a not-so-subtle message spread brightly across the streets of Newnan, intended to snuff out what residents like Abba Howard are calling hate.
Tomorrow we have different groups of people coming to spread hate.
She's talking about a neo-Nazi rally planned by the National Socialist Movement. Tonight, the area is not only barricaded but fenced off to separate counter-protesters from the 150 demonstrators expected to converge on the city of Newnan tomorrow afternoon to spread their message.
We all had our little irrational moment where we just didn't know why.
Why Newnan? It's a question I asked Jeff Shep, the organizer of the rally, over the phone. He says local support in the area.
I think that that's just made up.
I'm not one that's ignorant to the idea that that might be a possibility.
Look around. You got nothing but love right now.
And that's what residents of Newnan want to focus on, coming together as Newnan Strong.
Okay, hashtag Newnan Strong. We're just trying to all fall under this same title because that's what we're about. It's all about unity.
So strong, it even started trending on Twitter. Organizers Nathan Brain and Derek Reddy came up with it when planning the event about a week ago.
We just wanted to shift the attention away from the negative, put it on the positive.
Now, Vinny, demographically, Newnan is pretty diverse, about 53% white, about 30% black, and 12% Hispanic. Everyone I spoke to says that they are not planning to attend that counter rally, but they are hoping that it goes peacefully. But more importantly, they want to continue for the community to focus on their message of unity.
Yeah, really nice message. Thanks so much, Natisha. All right, here's a little background on that group holding tomorrow's rally. The Nationalist Socialist Movement was founded in Detroit in 1974, born out of the American Nazi Party. They wear black uniforms. They refer to themselves as a political party for white Americans. On its website, the group demands an end to non-white immigration and says all non-whites should leave the country. Tomorrow, 11 Alive will be in Newnan monitoring the march and counter-protests as they happen. We'll be streaming live from downtown Newnan on 11alive.com. That's also where you'll find any late-breaking developments as well as our coverage leading up to this weekend's events.
A developing story tonight in tonight's Speed Feed. I'm Ryan Kruger. A road rage shooting sends a woman to the hospital. The driver who fired that shot tonight still on the loose. DeKalb County Police say two cars were merging onto I-20 West when a man in a black car was angry that a woman in a Nissan Altima passed him. So police say he sped around her, fired into the driver's side window. The woman was hit by shattered glass and taken to the hospital. Her passenger, thankfully, not hurt tonight. Happening right now, a man working at this Forsyth County commercial storage facility is being treated at Grady Hospital for severe burns. You can see the building was a total loss after fire broke out late this afternoon. No word on what started the blaze. And also developing right now, a popular music producer and DJ dead at just the age of 28.
So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older.
No doubt you've heard the song. That's Tim Bergling, a.k.a. Avicii. He was found dead today in Oman where he was visiting friends. His hits like Hey Brother and Levels dominated U.S. dance charts. He performed at sold-out concerts all over the world. Avicii collaborated with megastars like Madonna and Coldplay. And tonight, the music world is reacting to his sudden death, calling him an innovator and a beautiful soul. And Benny, we don't know how he died, but we do know that he actually retired from touring 2 years ago because of health problems.
All right, sad news tonight. Thanks so much, Ryan. All right, fourth day of deliberations in the Tex McIver murder trial. McIver shot and killed his wife. He says accident. The prosecution says murder. The question tonight, why no verdict? Earlier today, my legal dream team, defense investigator Charles Middlestat and defense attorneys Meg Strickler and Daryl Cohen were here to answer that question.
Jury is done for the day, but it's also the week. I want to thank you for another week.
Fourth day of deliberations. Why no verdict?
I'm confused at this point, Vinny.
It was 70 witnesses over weeks of testimony.
It's confusing. They're confused.
We thought we had something 3 days ago. Now we're getting mixed messages.
Because we don't have unanimity with 12 people on every count.
They have to go through each and every thought and make sure they are come to a conclusion.
What is Tex McIver thinking tonight?
It's going to be a sleepless weekend for Tex.
TGINC. Thank God I'm not convicted.
The fear of the unknown makes you the most anxious.
All these witnesses wandering around the courtroom and the courthouse, does that have any impact?
It could if the jury sees them.
Definitely impacted them. Problem is, we don't know how.
All of these witnesses who are still sitting there talking to the media, it most definitely is impacting them.
How close are we to a hung jury?
Hard to say.
We're not anywhere close to hung jury at this stage.
We could be close.
A lot of folks on social media talking about Juror 61. Could 61 be the holdout?
61 could definitely be the holdout.
If she's the lone holdout, then that would bode well for the defense.
Juror 61 reminds me of a UFO. I just can't help but wonder where the heck she's going, what she's thinking.
Who had a better day, prosecution or defense?
Defense. Every minute, every hour, every day he's not convicted is good for the defense.
Defense, I agree with Charles. Every minute, every hour, but also the lack of any questions today.
The defense. Today was Good Friday for Tex, and he hopes to have a lot more Good Friday.
And we're staying on Verdict Watch, so make sure you have the 11 Alive News app. We'll alert you as soon as jurors reach a decision. And while we wait, you can catch up on all the big moments on the Tex MacGyver section of 11alive.com.
I'm 11 Alive investigator Andy Parati. Next week on the Late Feed at 11, we expose such a tragic nursing home death in Georgia. We're debating about showing you the pictures.
This is one of the most horrendous things that I've ever seen in my career as a forensic pathologist.
So it's not an exaggeration to say she was eaten alive.
Having seen what I've seen with Ms. Zini, I think, frankly, that is a good characterization. This is really intensely horrible.
Why do you think the public needs to see these images?
How else do we effectuate change?
Thursday night at 11 on the Late Feed.
A father and son now sharing a tragic bond, both murdered 1 year and thousands of miles apart.
Amazon scoping out our schools while shopping for its new headquarters. Does Atlanta make the grade?
New computer model data is coming in tonight, not only updating the timing of when we're going to see rain moving in, but also updating the totals. And some of these amounts look impressive.
Hey guys, Anthony Mackie and Ralph Macchio are facing off in a game of karate pinata. We have stand-up from Kyrie, Shabazz, and thank you notes. Stay tuned.